Hello, my name is George Tracy. Welcome back for Session 10B of Website Design for the Global Marketplace. In this session, we will discuss proactive international promotion of your website, internationalization of your website, and finally, localization of your website. But before we get into all that, I thought we could take a look at who's going global. The NBA has gone to China in a big way. Starbucks has gone, well, just about everywhere. So has Xbox. And even our friends over at eBay are saying good day to their customers in Australia and have completely localized a website just for Down Under. But website globalization isn't just for the big companies. This session should help you go after some of these global opportunities that the big guys are already pursuing. Before we get into proactive promotion of your website internationally, let's take a look at which search engines people are using in other parts of the world, since search engines are the way that most people find websites. This chart shows the most popular search engines in Asia. Although Google does occupy a disproportionate amount of the market, you'll notice that other search engines have significant presence as well. Take a look at Baidu, the third largest search engine in Asia. Most people outside of Asia have never heard of Baidu, but if you're pursuing business in that region, you definitely want to consider not just Baidu, but all the search engines that are being used throughout the region. Here's a graph showing the most popular search engines in Russia. As you may recall, Russian is the second fastest growing language on the internet, and in Russia, most internet users are using a search engine called Yandex. You'll notice Rambler is also a popular search engine in Russia, but is not all that common in the United States. So if you wish to pursue business in Russia, you want to make sure you get listed on Yandex, Rambler, and the other popular Russian search engines. Finally, here's a chart showing the most popular search engines in Europe. As you can see, Google is by far the most popular search engine. However, there are different Google sites for each particular country. So in order to proactively promote your site, it's important to be listed on as many of the search engines as possible, including Google sites specific to each country. As you could see from the previous few slides, there are a lot of search engines out there, some more popular than others in particular parts of the world. So as you're thinking about proactive promotion of your company on the internet internationally, you have to take this into consideration and make sure you're aware of the search engines that will be used by people in your target regions. And it's not just the regions you need to be aware of. For example, the site I mentioned before, Baidu, is actually the most popular search site in all of China. So if you're going after customers specifically in China, you definitely want to make sure you're listed on Baidu. Another example is Naver, the most popular search engine in South Korea. You may have noticed that Naver didn't even appear in the chart of most popular search engines in Asia. That's because Naver is a search engine that is specifically designed for and popular in South Korea. Because the population of South Korea is not very large, proportionately, from a regional perspective, Naver is not widely used. But if you intend to go after customers in South Korea, you absolutely have to be listed on Naver. The point is, as you're evaluating which regions of the world you'd like to pursue with your web presence, make sure you're aware of not only the popular search engines in that particular region, but also the most popular search engines in any specific target countries you may have. This information can easily be found on the internet by simply searching for the terms most popular search engine in South Korea, or whatever country you may be targeting. So before we can talk about proactively promoting your website, let's discuss how the search engines work. All of these search engines have programs that scour the internet looking for web pages, evaluating information on those web pages, and based on what they find, they index the web pages in a particular order. Some companies call these programs web crawlers or spiders. Google calls theirs the Googlebot, I believe. But all of the search engines use these things. And the algorithms and whatnot that determine how the web crawlers rank a web page are very sophisticated and held secret by the companies. What is known is that they look at all sorts of things like keywords, link backs. Some may still look at meta tags, although meta tags supposedly no longer make much of a difference. But one thing is for certain, and that is that content on your website is the most important thing for search engine ranking. So the goal is to make sure that your website contains content that is very specific to your products and industry. In some ways, this simply sounds like common sense, but we're going to discuss some strategies that you can use that will enhance the content on your website and make your site likely rank higher on the search engines, both in the United States and overseas, a